Courtrooms are supposed to be places of order, seriousness, where justice is served. But sometimes things go completely off the rails. Sometimes defendants make decisions so stupid, so bizarre, so reckless that you can't believe what you're seeing. This is the story of the craziest courtroom moments ever captured on camera. From driving during a hearing about driving on a suspended license to lighting up a joint in front of a judge to a deadly shootout in a Michigan courthouse. We're going to see judges lose their patience, defendants lose their minds, and families lose their composure. These aren't scripted TV dramas, these are real court proceedings that went completely sideways. Let's start with one of the most viral courtroom moments in recent history. A moment so absurd it became an internet meme overnight. Washtenaw County District Court in Ann Arbor, Michigan. A routine virtual hearing is about to begin. Judge Cedric Simpson is presiding. On the docket is 44-year-old Corey Harris, who's appearing virtually from his car. "Mr. Harris, are you driving?" "Actually, I'm pulling into my doctor's office. Just give me 1 second, I'm parking right now." The hearing seemed routine until Judge Simpson realized something. He looked at the paperwork, looked back at the screen, looked at the paperwork again. "So maybe I don't understand something. This is a driving while license suspended." "That is correct, Your Honor." Judge Simpson paused, trying to process what he's seeing and hearing. And he was just driving, and he didn't have a license. The prosecutor confirmed, "That is correct, Your Honor." Judge Simpson couldn't believe it. "I'm looking at his record, he doesn't have a license, he's suspended, and he's just driving." "That is correct, Your Honor." Both Judge Simpson and the defendant, who wasn't supposed to be driving, were utterly confused by the situation. Actually, Judge Simpson wasn't confused. He was stunned that someone would be this stupid. "I don't even know why he would do that." Eventually, the judge revoked Harris's bond, ordered him to turn himself in at the county jail by 6 p.m. that day. Failure to turn himself in will result in a bench warrant with no bond. Harris, still sitting in his car, realized he just talked himself into jail. Oh my God. The video went viral. Harris became an internet meme overnight. People couldn't believe someone would drive to a court hearing about driving on a suspended license. Timestamp 00:0500000645. Harris later talked to the media. "I've been assaulted, I've been followed, I've been laughed at, I've been ridiculed, I have been disrespected." After spending 2 nights in prison, Harris returned to court. Judge Simpson set the record straight. Turns out this case was more complicated than it seemed. The person that needed to be blamed is the person that he was staring at in the mirror. He didn't do what he should have done when they suspended his license. When they suspended his license in Saginaw, they don't suspend the license. They suspend the privilege to drive in the state. Judge Simpson explained further. His driving privileges were unsuspended in 2022. That required Mr. Harris to do something. He didn't do it. Turns out after Harris's suspension was revoked, he never paid the clearance fees with the court or the Secretary of State to lift the suspension. He just assumed he could drive again. But what's even crazier, Harris never even had a valid driver's license in the first place. Timestamp 00:0645000830. He has never had a Michigan license ever, and has never had a license in the other 49 states and commonwealths that form up this great union. Judge Simpson wasn't done, there was more. He's got a warrant. The defense attorney didn't even know. I didn't know. Yes, he has a warrant for his arrest. The charges, you guessed it, driving without a valid license. A warrant from 9 years ago that Harris never dealt with. For driving while license suspended that he didn't take care of. Judge Simpson had enough. "I'm going to take him into custody on the warrant." Ultimately, Harris was sent back to prison for the 9-year-old charges, but the story has a somewhat happy ending. 2 days later, Harris was able to secure a learner's permit license. Baby steps. While Corey Harris's bizarre trial ended with him finally getting legal documentation, what happens when a defendant walks into court wearing the very thing he's accused of stealing? Miami-Dade County, Florida, Bond Court. Judge Diane Ward is presiding. Up next is Nelson Walker facing degree theft charges. Walker was arrested after he and a friend were caught stealing Miami Dolphins merchandise worth over $300. Multiple jerseys, hats, other gear, all from the Dolphins team store. Now in bond court, Walker walks in, and quite incredibly, he's wearing the same jersey he was caught stealing. Judge Ward looks at him, looks at the arrest report, looks back at him. You're charged with stealing a Dolphins jersey. Walker, wearing said Dolphins jersey, responds, "This ain't the one." Judge Ward stares at him. No, ma'am, I swear on everything, I ain't take no jersey, I ain't take no jersey. Judge Ward isn't convinced. She asks the public defender to weigh in. Public defender, as to Mr. Walker. Respectfully, Your Honor, we're going to be raising a probable cause issue. The public defender, equally confused by his client's wardrobe choice, instead raised irregularities in the arrest report. Something about observing the defendant put on a Dolphins hat, then says hats, so there's an issue about whether it's two hats or one hat. But clearly, Walker is wearing a Dolphins jersey right now in court, for a hearing about stealing a Dolphins jersey. Perhaps Judge Ward would have been more sympathetic if Walker didn't have 29 other prior felonies. Ultimately, the judge held Walker at a $5,000 bond, and perhaps more harshly banned him from the Dolphins stadium for life. No more games for you, sir. While Nelson, Walker's questionable attire sent him back to jail, how does it compare to faking a heart attack in a courtroom? Dayton, Ohio, Common Pleas Court. Kisson Wilkins is on trial for felony assault. He allegedly tried to murder someone. Now he's facing multiple charges. Wilkins is representing himself, always a red flag. The judge, Mary Catherine Huffman, asked if he has witnesses. Do you have any witnesses here present today? No. Wilkins asked for more time to prepare his defense. Judge Huffman straight up refused. You've had months to research this matter. This is why I suggested to you that you have counsel. This is because Wilkins had repeatedly tried to disrupt earlier court proceedings. Multiple times, he'd claimed the court was being unfair, made claims of being lynched. Would you please ask the bailiff and the sheriffs to just go get a tree and bring it in here, for the hanging, for the lynching. Because this is a lynching, this is a modern-day lynching. Judge Huffman had enough of his disruptions. I have repeatedly advised you, sir, that you will lose your right to represent yourself because of your conduct. Do you understand that? No, Your Honors. Yes, you do. Wilkins had already delayed the trial for 3 consecutive days. Now Judge Huffman was done with his antics. As Wilkins was questioning a witness, something seemed wrong. She never provided. Excuse me, he grabbed his chest. Excuse me for a second. Then Wilkins suddenly collapsed, clutching his heart, falling to the floor. We're going to take a break. We're going to take a break, ladies and gentlemen, if you'll please step out. Court medics examined Wilkins. They quickly caught his fake. Based on your examination, do you have any concerns? No concerns at all. He may need some water. Judge Huffman seemed unmoved. Defendant is feeding some medical condition. But Wilkins wasn't done. He then acted completely unresponsive, slumped in his chair, eyes closed, not moving. Defendant is slouching over to the side and acts like he's sleeping. His breath appears to be quite normal, doesn't appear to be labored in any way. Is that a fair assessment, sir? The medic confirmed, it's not labored in any manner. He appears to be doing nothing other than sitting in that chair. Then a court deputy made a genius move. He pulled out smelling salts, waved them under Wilkins' nose. Oh, a remarkable change. A strong dose of smelling salts brought Wilkins back to life instantly. He jerked awake, coughing. The trial resumed. Mr. Wilkins, do you have any questions for this witness, sir? Wilkins just stared at the deputy who woke him up, glaring. I'll take that as a no, sir. Judge Huffman reminded him that his ruse was up. You've been checked out by trained deputies who are medics. You've been checked out by a registered nurse as well as an emergency medical technician, all of whom indicate that there is nothing physically wrong with you, nor any reason why you couldn't continue here, sir. She made it clear his actions wouldn't work. You've made some effort to cause a mistrial, but as I advised you, sir, and as the case law is very clear, your behavior will not cause a mistrial. Finally, she gave him an ultimatum. "Sir, in 5 minutes I'm going to start again with or without you." Despite his best efforts, Wilkins was ultimately convicted of all charges, sentenced to 42 years in prison. While Wilkins' legal career ended with a hefty jail sentence, what happens when a defendant lights up a joint in court? Yes, actually smokes marijuana during a court proceeding. Wilson County Courthouse in Tennessee. 20-year-old Spencer Allen Boston is in court on a drug charge, simple possession of marijuana. He received a citation during a routine traffic stop. Boston is representing himself, always interesting. The judge asked how he wants to plead. He said he wants to represent himself in this case. I told him today was arraignment. It's either guilty or not guilty, to which he responded, I just want to plead my case to the court. So he didn't want to talk to me after that. Boston wants to argue about marijuana law. I think it's very unfair, the marijuana law here. I think we the people deserve better because marijuana is a very harmless drug and it's been around for ages since the 80s, 90s. The judge was having none of it. I've heard that baloney all my life, so don't go any further on that. I don't know whether it's good or bad. All I know is Tennessee still has it against the law. I swore to uphold the laws and I have to uphold the laws as a judge. It probably is unfair, but I can't change it. You've got to go see the legislature to get that changed. The judge shifted focus to the case at hand. Now, if you want to plead guilty, you can today, but if you want a trial, we can give you a trial on Officer Vincent's date. As the judge became busy scheduling a trial date, Boston decided to take matters into his own hands. Incredibly, the defendant reached into his pocket, pulled out a joint, lit it, and started smoking right there in the courtroom. Are you smoking marijuana in my courtroom? Boston held the burning joint up to the gallery. One final message, we the people deserve better. Take him to jail, take him to jail. Bailiffs rushed in, grabbed Boston, wrestled him out of the courtroom as he continued smoking. For his efforts, Boston was sent to 10 days in jail for contempt of court, and was hit with an additional possession charge, so his one marijuana charge became 2 marijuana charges. Great strategy. Timestamp 00/22/30/00/2415. While Spencer Allen Boston pleaded his case with a live demonstration, what happens when a woman gets arrested for laughing in court? Detroit, Michigan, Wayne County Circuit Court. Amanda Kozel is being sentenced for operating under the influence causing death. On June 23, 2016, Amanda had a fatal head-on collision with 31-year-old Jerome Zerker and his fiancée Brittany Johnson while driving drunk. Tragically, the crash took the life of Jerome. Brittany was severely injured. Amanda later pleaded guilty. Now she's in court for sentencing. Jerome's sister Darlene read a powerful victim impact statement written by his children. Amanda, look what you did to my life. You ruined everything I had, like my dad's life. While Amanda seemed moved by the words, a couple in the courtroom found it amusing. They were laughing, smiling, making jokes. This enraged Judge Kiana Lillard. To see you sit here at a tragic moment like this and laugh and smile when somebody has lost a family member. I mean, the entire time that Mr. Zerker's sister was speaking, that clown, and that's what I'm going to call him, a clown, was sitting there smiling and laughing. The person laughing was Amanda's mother, Donna Kozel. Judge Lillard had seen enough. Ma'am, you are being taken into custody for criminal contempt. And you, ma'am, are going to the Wayne County Jail for 93 days for direct criminal contempt. Bailiffs immediately moved in, handcuffed Donna, led her away. Anybody else want to go? Try it. Judge Lillard then had some stern words for the Kozel family. This is a court of law and these are very serious matters. I understand you all are upset because your loved one is going to prison. But guess what? She's going to prison for the choices that she made. These people are here grieving, saddened because a senseless act took away their loved one, and you all are sitting around here like it's a joke. After order was restored, Amanda was sentenced to 3 to 15 years in prison. The following morning, Donna appeared before Judge Lillard again. She seemed a changed woman after just one night in jail. I deeply apologize for what I did. I was under a lot of stress. I'm going through some doctor appointments today for my heart. It's just everything overwhelmed me and I deeply apologize for what I did in your court. I just needed to get out. It's been very hard for me the past year. I know for the other family. I'm so sorry for what I did and I know it was wrong and I apologize. Judge Lillard had words of wisdom. What you have to understand is, as hard as this is for you to see your baby going to prison, imagine what that family feels like when their child's dead. I understand that, I feel for them too. So I hope that you've learned a valuable lesson from this. And I hope that it will serve as a message to anyone doing business in the Frank Murphy Hall of Justice, or any court for that matter, that there's just a manner things have to be conducted in, decency and order. Judge Lillard modified the sentence. 93 days reduced to 1 day with credit for time served. Donna was released that day. Timestamp 00-2745-00-2930. While Donna Kozel spent a night in jail for laughing, what happens when a defendant drives through a crowd of people at a Christmas parade? Waukesha, Wisconsin, November 21, 2021. The annual Waukesha Christmas Parade is underway. Families line the streets. Kids are excited, marching bands performing, dancers in festive costumes, a beautiful community event. Then a red SUV plows through the barricades, speeds into the parade route, and starts running people over. Onlookers caught the whole incident on camera. First, 39-year-old Darrell Brooks driving the SUV narrowly missed a little girl dancing by the side of the road. Then he plowed through a marching band, bodies flying, people screaming, multiple people dead or injured. His rampage continued as Brooks hit a group of pom-pom girls dancing in the parade. Kids, teenagers, cheerleaders just there to perform and have fun. The SUV then sped away, leaving behind a scene of utter chaos and destruction. Eyewitnesses immediately called 911. 15 people down the street got multiple critical. Survivors later recounted the horrors that day. So many bodies in the road, and then I saw them start to pick them up and they were little kids. Another witness, I literally saw roughly 10 people bounce off that car, and you could hear thud, 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 thud as he drove through, and you could hear it, which is a sound I'll never forget. In the end, Brooks's rampage killed 6 people and injured 62 others. He was soon arrested from outside a house in Waukesha. Put your hands up, get on the ground, do it. Brooks's trial was filled with bizarre incidents. First, he fired his lawyers and represented himself as a sovereign citizen. Do you wish to represent yourself in this case? Yes, I do. Then he frequently disrupted court proceedings, over and over, interrupting, arguing, talking over the judge. At first, Judge Jennifer Doro gave him warnings. You're advised that continued interruptions will result in you forfeiting your right to be present in this courtroom, where you'll be taken to the courtroom next door to appear by video and audio means to participate. But eventually, she had enough. She removed Brooks from the courtroom multiple times, made him participate via video link from another room. Mr. Brooks, you are now going to be removed to the other courtroom. Throughout the trial, Brooks's outbursts continued. He claimed he was being lynched, that the trial wasn't fair, that he was being silenced. At the end of a long, emotional trial, the jurors reached a verdict: guilty on all counts. During sentencing, the mother of the 8-year-old boy killed in the tragedy addressed Brooks. You're a child killer, a woman killer. I cannot wait until somebody inflicts that harm on you. Judge Doro said the community would only be safe with Brooks locked away forever. Frankly, Mr. Brooks, no one is safe from you. This community can only be safe if you are behind bars for the rest of your life. This court is imposing a life sentence without the possibility or eligibility for extended supervision, consecutive to one another. Ultimately, Brooks was sentenced to 6 consecutive life sentences without the possibility of parole, plus an additional 762.5 years behind bars. These are the stories of when court goes completely wrong, when defendants make decisions so stupid they become viral memes, when judges lose their patience with disruptive behavior, when tragedy strikes even in the supposed safety of a courthouse. Courtrooms are meant to be places of order and justice, but as these cases show, sometimes chaos breaks through, sometimes people make decisions that defy all logic, and sometimes justice has to fight its way through absolute insanity to prevail. From driving during a hearing about driving to smoking weed in front of a judge to massacring parade goers and then representing yourself at trial, these are the moments when court goes wrong. And they serve as reminders that truth is often stranger than fiction. This is what happens when court goes completely off the rails, when order breaks down, when common sense fails, and when cameras capture it all for the world to see.